Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Copper Dragons here, and I'm gonna be playing some more LEGO Marvel Superheroes. So let's hop right in and continue the game. Now, last time, I completed the level at Riker's prison, defeated Sabretooth, and most of the villains got away. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really did last video. So let's just hop right in and continue the game. Alright, so I don't remember exactly what the next level has in store for me. I know it's like, what, level 4, level 5 or level 6, I believe. So yeah. Um, you know what, real quick, I'm gonna look and see what it says on the
Going to
trophy
need
list.
Iron Man if we want to
So
get those
yeah. Okay,
bricks
it's
back.
level 5
Head
and
over to
I gotta
Stark
head to
Tower and
Stark
suit up.
Tower. That's pretty much all I really gotta do, for the next level. Now keep in mind, I will be trying to work more on, on my Cuphead series, but as of right now, I'm just trying to, like, at the time of recording this, which is like a couple days before it should be going up, I will be, trying to get a night's rest. The main reason I'm recording this now is so, instead of the night before it goes up, is mostly due to the fact that I just really wanted to try and, at least have some videos recorded, and then work on Cuphead after I get a night's rest. So, yeah. But this still will be going up the day after,
Man, I miss flying.
like a couple days after actually that this video is recorded. So yeah, might as well just get this video done, so that way, for one, I can have more levels done of this game, and then for two, just so I could have the videos I wanted to get recorded done, and then trying to get some sleep in. So yeah. Also, I really do like this game. It's just that at certain moments it does get really slow. You know what? Come to think of it, I wish I had a flying character. Like that would be kind of like really useful right now, if I'm being honest. So yeah. Mostly or at least a speedster character. Either or would really work right now for me. You know what, might as well just try and take a call. So that way I can, at least have a little bit of added speed. Like, since I can't fly with Iron Man right now, since his suit is kind of destroyed, and also Captain America can't fly either. So, yeah. Might as well just take a car to drive to get to the next level. Yeah, I'm not really too good at driving in LEGO games. GTA, on the other hand, I am decently good at driving there. Heck, whenever I, get around to playing some GTA Online, for my GTA, whenever I get around to streaming that, I will be planning on trying to become at least a getaway driver, for some of the people I help out.
Sure. We just need to think outside the box.
If I ever do get to help out people. If they don't, spam slurs at me and then, all this other crap that's very typical of GTA Online. So yeah. Might as well just try and fix this current. So that way I can just get this done. Okay, time to get a suit.
Stark Tower dominates the Manhattan skyline as either a highly advanced technological research facility or a giant monument to its owner's ego. Depends who you ask.
Did I ever tell you about my party armor? It was designed like a tuxedo. For more formal...
Alright, so let's just try and get this level done already, so that way I can just try and move on with the game. But whenever this cutscene gets done, I'm gonna have to pause the recording, you know, for a couple minutes, because there's some dogs howling outside.
Intruders.
So yeah.
Security Override Command Tango Oscar Sierra 3963.
We're gonna have to fight our way in.
Someone must have hacked my systems. It's the kind of thing I do to other people. What the...
Alright. I'm gonna pause the recording for a couple minutes. Well, and I'll be back like in a split second for the footage. But yeah. Just gotta deal with something outside. Just gotta check and see what's going on out there. So yeah. Man, I don't know what they were barking at. Dogs, man. They're 1 second they're the most adorable little flute balls. Next second they're going absolutely crazy for what you can only say is the dumbest reasons possible. And just start howling for and barking and all this other stuff for no reason, even at people that they should be knowing. Like it just like don't get me wrong, I love dogs. They're just the biggest little flute balls you will ever see. Oh my god, sometimes they get a little much, you know? But either way, let's just try and finish up this level. I am gonna try and beat this game, move on to the other LEGO Marvel games too after this. That's gonna be the next ones I work on, you know, after this LEGO game. So yeah, might as well just try and see what I can do with all of this right here. I'm gonna try and collect as many studs for the stud meter, since that's something I really want to do for every level. But actually, I don't even know if I have all the stud meters for this game so far. Like, I know I haven't beaten the game yet, but I don't know if I have all the stud meters filled for all the levels I have played. You know? But I will be trying to check after this video. So, yeah. Okay. I know that I have to build something, and I have to break these computers just to build it. I think it might be the suit. Like, so yeah, let's just try and get that done real quick. Oh, it's a weirdly ominous device like the ones that only Tony Stark can use, and same with other smart characters like, you know, Mr. Fantastic and Black Widow. Well, actually, I wouldn't consider Black Widow on the same level of intelligence as, you know, Tony Stark, Mr. Fantastic, and, you know, other characters of that sort. I wouldn't really consider her to be on that kind of level, but she is still relatively intelligent, you know, by human standards anyways. You know what? One intelligent character I haven't really been seeing brought up is actually a character called Moonbird. She's actually a really intelligent character, and also a really underrated one, I may add. Like she's honestly a pretty fun character too, for what she is, anyways. Don't get her confused with Moon Knight. That's a completely different character. So yeah. Let's just collect some of these studs real quick. I have to destroy this machine. So that way I can just try and get through. Alright. Now let's just move on with the level. You know what? Something weird I've noticed is that how only the small characters can, you know, build. The big characters can't build them, regardless of how intelligent said character is. You know, like, look at Darkseid, for example. he's one of the smartest characters in all of DC. Why can't he build? Like he's like easily one of the smartest DC characters ever. Just makes no sense why he can't build in Lego games. You know? Like, it really doesn't make sense, to be honest. Oh. So I gotta use an old Iron Man suit. Which is basically essentially just an early mark of the suit. Of his Iron Man suits. So, yeah. Yeah, that's easily one of the weakest suits that Iron Man has. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still powerful by human standards, but compared to Iron Man suits, it's easily one of the weakest by a long shot. By miles. Like, it's easily one of the weakest suits Iron Man has ever made. Because mostly due to the fact it's one of the earliest suits he's ever made, if not the earliest. You know? So yeah, let's just try and get through here. And just try and take out some of these enemies. I want to use Iron Man for some combat in this level. But yeah, it would just be kind of pointless with that weaker suit. And also, I just want to use Captain America for a little bit, too. So yeah. Let's just see what I can do here. You know what, I may not be too big into movies, to be perfectly honest, but one movie series I have frankly been wanting to try and get into is the Maze Runner series. I've been wanting to try and get into that. Like, I've been wanting to watch the Maze Runner movie since I was a kid, but I just never got around to watching
Captain America, duty.
You know, I just really thought that the concept of Maze Runner was so interesting. You know, for what it was anyways. Like, it may not be the most interesting franchise out there, but still relatively interesting. So yeah. Let's swap to Iron Man real quick so I can, you know, try and, you know, use this panel over here. And also so I can use some combat too. Let's see what I can do with this. Seems like I gotta use this for Captain America for some reason. Let's go ahead and collect some of these studs right here. Yeah, I'm gonna call the breakable items studs, because that's what they essentially are at the end of the day. So yeah. Might as well just call them what they essentially are. Now let's collect some studs already. So that way I can fill up the stud meter. Jesus Christ, I'm really tired right now. Hey, at least I might as well... At least it was better off for me recording a more simplistic game than something like Cuphead, where I would probably rage out if I tried to play it while I'm this tired. You know? Because I do really get really anxious. Like, and borderline gets so dumbed down that I might as well be considered an alcoholic without any sort of a blood alcohol level, while I get tired. You know? Like I might as well just be considered to that point. You know? Like, I may not actually act like I'm outright drunk whenever I'm tired, but I do kind of act like a town drunk, if anything. That's probably the best way I can explain it without sounding any more like an idiot. So, yeah. Let's collect some more studs. So that way I can, you know, try and fill up this rest of the stud meter. I already got almost 3 of the, wire segments of it filled up. So, yeah. Might as well just try and fill up the rest of it. I think that there's a total of 10 in each stud meter. Okay, there's some silver bricks right here that I gotta destroy. Let's just gather up and just destroy these.
One impressive building, Mr. Stark.
Okay. I'm gonna have to use Captain America here. Since, you know, he's the only character with an acrobatic skill that I can use right now. Okay, let's just try, take on some of these enemies. Okay, let's just try and do whatever I can. I'm gonna collect some studs while I'm at it. Okay, I'm doing pretty well in terms of stud collection. I have almost 50,000 studs right here. So, yeah. Man, I wish I could have collected that mini kit. That would have been so cool. Considering I rarely ever collect mini kits in LEGO games, like, at all. Like, yeah, I collected a bunch in LEGO Batman 1, but that's pretty much the furthest I've ever really done in terms of mini kits. So, yeah. We have to use, I believe, Iron Man's blaster here. Okay, let's break this. I'm gonna have to, use Iron Man's blaster. I don't know what I gotta do. I know I gotta destroy the silver stuff, but I don't know how. Like, exactly, anyways. I feel so stupid for that one. I lost studs, because of my own incompetence. Okay, what do I gotta do here? Huh. Jesus Christ, I'm losing a lot of studs. There we go. That was the right angle. Wait, I guess I gotta get back to that angle to destroy more of the thing right here. I don't know why I didn't destroy all of it the first time. I don't know why. But, might as well just accept it and just move on. So, yeah. Now keep in mind, the night that I recorded this video, which is like, I believe, the 5th, the night of the 5th, I wanted to try and stream, but, thought I might as well just record some videos instead, just for simplicity's sake, and also just in case if the internet goes out again, like it did for my last Nino Kuni stream, at the point of recording. So yeah, let's just try and see what I can do here. Yeah, I'm at 6 times meters, now 7. Let's just try and see what I can do with all of this. I'm gonna have to collect as many studs as possible, which is kind of obvious, considering I wanted to, fill up the stud meter. So yeah, real quick, let's just try and use Captain America here. Yeah, I can't really do much without a laser pointing at him, or at least in that general direction of this pad. So yeah. Wait, actually, there's a parkour segment here. Let's just try. Dang it. I lost some studs. It shouldn't really matter anyways. Mostly due to the fact that, well, I can just get them all back anyways. Like I'm pretty sure I just did.
This might require some extra muscle power.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Spider-Man there, or at least a character with a grapple hook. So yeah, let's just try and see what I can do with all of this. I almost got half of the stud meter full. So yeah, let's just try and see what I can do with all of this while I have the opportunity to break it all. Yeah, I'm gonna have to break some more stuff to try and, see what I can do with all of it. I don't know where I can go from here, if I had to be honest. Alright, let's just see if I can target anything, with the shield. Doesn't really seem like it, if I had to be honest. So yeah. I don't know what I can really do, to get all of this done. Let's just try and see what I can do. Wait, here's a push pad, so that's really good, for what I need to get done anyways. Okay, that's purely for Iron Man. Seems like I'm gonna need not Iron Man, but Captain America's shield real quick. Yeah, I don't know what else to do besides use his shield. Since this is pretty much the only thing that I have in terms of options. So let's try and destroy these lasers already. I guess that one's destroyed. Wait, no, it's not destroyed. This is powering it. It's electricity, not fire. So, yeah. Let's get through this door already. And just see what I can do. Crap, it's one of those things again. Okay, let's just see what I can do with this. I'm gonna have to pull out a shield and gather up these studs. Okay, let's just destroy this machine already. There we go. You know what? If there's one thing I really want to do, it's just try and move on to other LEGO games as quickly as possible. The only reason I'm working on these is because it's directly a series that I can actually play on this channel without too much difficulty, since all games part of the series can be accessed on PS5, which is, you know, how I record all my videos. So, yeah.
All things considered,
let's go ahead and just get Iron Man on this other thing. So that way he can open up this door. And just get through.
Apologies, sir.
Why does that
My
head
systems
kind of
are
look
being
like,
overridden.
you know, Red Skull?
Wow.
To a certain
That is
degree,
so
anyways.
cool.
You know,
That now.
or is that just Jarvis? Honestly, can't really tell because I've never seen Jarvis's face, especially in the comics. Because for all I know, it could have been just changed. The actor could easily have been, you know, looking different from, in any shape or form, from the comic counterpart. Heck, they did it with Nick Fury and pretty much most of the Marvel characters anyways. Since, you know, not everything's going to be 100% comic accurate. But then again, not Rick, but Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson isn't even the same race as comic Nick Fury. So yeah. If anything, comic Nick Fury, I think he's straight. Yeah, that's not really too particularly come to think of it, considering Nick Fury is like a smaller Marvel character in the comics. Like, yeah, he still holds a little bit of relevance, but he's not as big as, you know, someone like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk, you know, all these other characters. But he still does hold a little bit of relevance as, you know, a SHIELD agent. So yeah, I don't know if he's like still the director of SHIELD in the comics. I don't know. I can't give a direct answer on that because I haven't really figured out too much about Nick Fury in the comics. But yeah, let's just see what I can do with all this. I know I'm gonna have to open up this panel too. So let's just see what I can do with, you know, this as well. Okay, seems like that side's powered, or at least somewhat powered. Let's go ahead and just figure this one out too. Yeah, some segments of this game, it just really feels weird.
Immediate deployment of
wait, why did
suit.
the computer's head switch from red to blue? It's probably something to do with like Red Skull or something, changing everything from blue to red. So yeah. Okay, let's just swap out the suits, I guess. I think that this might be a suit change. Yep, it is. Still feels weird how he never swapped out the other suit. You know? Wait, is this a new Mark model, for the Iron Man suit? It has to be, considering it has lasers now. So yeah.
Try using your laser to cut a shape out of that.
Yeah, it seems like he's cutting out the mask of his helmet. So yeah. Let's just try and get through here already.
Arc reactor storage access granted.
Loki, stand down.
My insincerest apologies, but I need a source of high power.
Okay, let's just see what I can
Well,
do
you
with
are
all these
stealing from the
villains.
best.
That's not the only thing we've stolen.
Where are you going?
Never trust a demigod.
Wait, Loki's a demigod? I thought he was a full god. You know? Am I missing something about Norse mythology or something?
Teach you so-called
You know, regardless.
Avengers
I'm
a lesson.
gonna look that up to see if I got that information right. Okay, turns out in neither Norse mythology or Marvel mythology, Loki is a full-blown god, so I don't know why they screwed up that kind of information. You know, and calling him a demigod. You know? Unless if it's something to do with his character, you know, like that one guy in the weird-looking robe, thinking of himself as, you know, a full-blown god and, you know, other characters as demigods.
Should have anticipated this,
I don't know.
Stark.
Okay, let's just see what I can do with all this. Wait, I think that's the Mandarin. I think. So yeah. Let's just put some studs here. Okay. Let's just try and defeat some of these enemies here, so that way I can, you know, for one, build up the, you know, combo meter and collect some studs out of them. And for two, trying to, you know, get rid of all the enemies so I can just clear out all this and just fight the rest of it. The fight. So yeah. Might as well just do everything I can. You know what? I don't know. That's a Mark 42. I think I was using a Mark 6 throughout the rest of the game. So yeah.
Heroes.
Come on, let me deal
There is
damage to
still
you.
no such thing.
You know what? I think that for the Mandarin alone, I think only created like an Iron Man suit that prevented like using magic on him or something. You know, I think it's because of the Mandarin and you know other characters trying to use magic on him. I could have that information wrong. He's pretty much created. He's basically the master of bullcrap whenever it comes to what his suit can resist. You know, like, but that's only sometimes because he can still take damage. For some unpredictableness in his fights. So yeah. Let's just try and put some more studs while I'm at it. I know I gotta try and collect at least a few thousand more. So let's try and collect as many as possible for the rest of this fight. Okay. I don't know where else I can really get studs, because I think I broke everything in the level. You know? Yeah, I gotta try and stop the Mandarin. And also try and stop that fire guy, too. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, if I had to be honest. Wait, he's getting the Hulkbuster suit? Oh crap, that's not fair. Like, I don't even get the Hulkbuster suit. That's not really fair if you think about it.
Is that the Hulkbuster armor?
Okay.
That will let him do anything that Hulk can do?
Let's just see what I can really do against the Mandarin here. I gotta try and collect as many studs as possible. Just to try and fill up the rest of the stud meter. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed otherwise. If I can't really beat any more enemies. Okay, let's just try and pick up some of these goons right here. So that way I can, you know, fill up the rest of my stud meter. Okay. Let's just try and hit as many of these dudes with my shield as possible. Yeah, I probably could have had the stud meter filled up if I didn't, fall into those pits so many times. So yeah, I easily could have had the stud meter filled up by now. All I really got to do is just try and take out some more enemies while I'm at it. Okay, let's just try and do whatever I can to these enemies. Okay. I just really want to take out more enemies so that way I can fill up the stud meter and the true hero meter. Okay, I just gotta try and do whatever I can against these enemies, build up the combo meter and just fill up the stud meter in the process. Wait, can these things be broken? Don't think they can. So yeah, let's just try and fill up as much as possible with the stud meter. I don't care about defeating the Mandarin right now. I just want to fill up the stud meter before the level ends. Okay, there we go. Wait, I can use the Unity to try and melt his back. I think. Okay, let's just try and do whatever I can to him. Okay, let's just try and overwhelm the Mandarin. Okay. Let's just try and melt the back side of the Hulkbuster armor. So that way, it deals extra damage. Wait, I think either way, I think that the Mandarin's almost gone anyways. So yeah. Let's just try and do whatever I can. Yeah, the Hulkbuster's almost down. Same with the Mandarin. So yeah. Wait, why isn't the Mandarin going down? Wait, he must still have a little bit of health. So yeah. Wait. I could build? That seems really weird, to be perfectly honest. Alright. Let's just try and throw the shield at this. And, try and stop the Mandarin already. Seems like this is the end of the level. Alright, let's swap to Iron Man and try and melt this gold plating on the suit. So that way I can stop the Mandarin for good. Yeah, this isn't doing much effectiveness. I don't think anyways. Okay. Why isn't this seemingly working? Never mind, I think it's working if I just aim it correctly. Let's just see what I can do to this gold plating. Please just melt. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's not melting. Please just melt already. I'm aiming directly at it. Why isn't it melting? This is really weird. I have no clue what's going on, let alone why the gold isn't melting. I'm so confused right now. Okay, let's just try and aim at the gold. So that way it can just try and melt the armor. I am so lost. Why is it melting right now? I am so lost. Yeah, I'm just, like, outrageously confused. Okay, let's just try and do whatever I can to the gold. Yeah, I have no clue why it isn't melting. I'm gonna turn off my. There we go. I don't know why that took so long to melt one section of gold. You know, like that felt way too long and just way too difficult to aim at.
So, like my suit?
I have a soft spot for the oldies.
Why is it my tower can never stay in one piece?
Alright, that's the end of that level. Alright, you know what? I might as well just show off how many stud meters that I've got in this game. If I got 5, then that just shows that I got one each level so far.
And are the remains of the Silver Surfer's board. If that means what I think it means, you alone have the expertise we need to help defend the Earth.
It looks like both our labs have been trashed.
These bad guys love to steal our stuff.
And they've been stealing far too much of it. We need to move on our Latveria operation. I call it Operation Latveria.
I'll call the rest of the Fantastic Four.
Right. Turn on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s arc reactor tracking software.
Tracking my arc reactor signatures?
Do you know how many times I've had to find you at some crazy party? You see, having the best intelligence gives you the upper hand. Hawkeye, Black Widow, you're up.
Alright, let's just see what I can
Purpose is
do
too dire
here.
to contemplate.
That's gonna be the end of
Follow the
today's
signal
video.
and find it.
Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.